And we are excited to be joined by our next guest, head coach Coach Mace. To start things off right away, Coach, I'm wondering if you want to give your dad a shout out. I understand he listens to the show.
No, I'm good. No, I'm just what's up, Pop?
No, thanks for doing this, Coach Mace. I do just want to bring up what I alluded to briefly there. The 2027 Grey Cup coming to Saskatchewan with your recent contract extension through 2028. You feeling any extra pressure?
No, I'm elated just like anybody else in the province that we get to host a big game here. But so dialed on what's happening right now, I haven't really given much thought other than it's going to be a sweet party here.
Well, then why don't we focus our sights on the 2025 Grey Cup and the journey to get there? How are you and the team preparing this week with the bye, waiting your next opponent in the semifinals this weekend? What's that look like?
Yeah, the guys got a couple days off here just to kind of rest up and relax. We'll be getting after it here in a couple days. But coaches, we're in the office doing our due diligence, just looking at some things that we like and didn't like for ourselves throughout the season, and then obviously trying to prepare for the potential of either opponent. So just working away like a regular day.
Completely understandable. I know even when we were talking to Teagan Campbell post-game there after Saturday's matchup against the Lions, he was saying, yeah, I'm just going to be crushing tape. Is that kind of what the plan is right now?
Yeah, 100%. It's good to hear players are still, doing that even with their time off. But truthfully, that's not a shock. It's, there's a reason I think that teams tend to find themselves in these situations. It's just the total buy-in for these guys. We try to push these guys to do the extraordinary, is what we say. So that would be watching tape, even on your days off.
Coach, it's been 29 days since it will have been 29 days since your team plays a game that has impacted the standings. What have you done to make sure that they're prepared to be at the top of their game when it matters most?
Yeah, I think Dave just, trying to treat each day like it's really the same, like that it's been since training camp. We try to pride ourselves on trying to get better each day. If you keep that a constant, then it really should put you in best favor. So, business as usual, really, for everybody. You don't really need to amp up the situation. Everybody understands what it is. We're just super excited to be able to do that in front of our home crowd here with Rider Nation, at our back. And really kudos to the guys, for putting in that work throughout the season to get that. But even, the last couple of weeks, was crucial for us, I think, moving forward, just not only to get, some other guys some extra reps, but just for us to continue our process and trying to find ways to be better as a team. It didn't really turn out, how we wanted in the win category, but I thought there was a lot of really good tape for us to learn from, and a lot of good tape, truthfully, that we just put out there from a lot of guys that got a chance to play against teams who statistically had everything to play for. So was pretty pleased, to be honest with you, outside of obviously not getting the wins, but pretty pleased with the team and their effort.
Now, I was very careful in the way that I worded that question, and probably there's a lot of people saying, Dave, you should watch your words more carefully more often. Having said that, though, you've mentioned a number of times that it was important to get those players some quality game time to see what it was all about. How much evaluation of players went on the last couple of weeks when you were able to put guys on the field in live reps?
Oh, tremendous amount. I mean, I'd like to say it was just only these last 2 weeks, but anytime anybody gets a chance to step on the field and represent the team, heavy evaluation goes into that. Now, not necessarily just a game. I mean, there's in totality, there's so many practices, games throughout a season. We always have an eye on that. So, unfortunately, I think the crappy part about the business is that if you don't perform, we have to find somebody else to do it. But, for us, for the most part, the locker room hasn't changed a tremendous amount. And that's really, it's just a credit to those guys and the work that they've put in, the commitment that they have to the process, that we have, and the mindset that we have to really just look to try to win a game each week. And a lot goes into that each day, and those guys take it seriously. So the evaluation kind of never really stops. but you're happy to see guys get the opportunity if it presents itself when they get out there to represent the team.
So what's your evaluation on Michael Hughes, who came in to kick Saturday at Mosaic Stadium?
Yeah, I mean, you're talking about a guy who's been here for a couple of weeks, getting acclimated to, the CFL game, the CFL rules. I'm not sure if he thought he was going to get extra points for kicking it through the goalposts on his kickoff or not. But, he's got a big leg. We saw that in his tape coming out of college. And he's provided that same sentiment here in practice. So happy the kid to get out there, get a shot to put on for the team. Did a great job making his kicks, and was. I think everybody's going to talk about the kickoff, obviously, after the penalty they took, bumped the ball up a couple extra yards, never hurts. So we'll take that. But really pleased with his performance, and again, happy he's part of the team.
I think there would be a lot of Rider fans that would be very upset with me if I didn't at least ask, do you have a plan that you're willing to share for the kicking position in the West Final?
Yeah, same as everybody. We'll pick the best one that we see to make the team the best. So, and that honestly, and I get it. I know it's something we're looking at now. We had meetings about the potential of what things could look like. The potential if there's a couple moves here or there, but ultimately, those guys are going to be able to have to decide that with how they practice. When we be able to put together the best possible team, we'll put those pieces into place. But yeah, we ain't making none of those decisions till right before the game.
Coach, up in Saskatoon the last 2 years, you've talked about when it comes to roster cut down days and how difficult that is, because you are heavily invested in the personalities that you have in that locker room. Is it any easier having to approach an athlete, whether it's Trevor Harris, whether it's Antoine Brooks Jr., whomever it may be, to say, hey, I'm sorry you're not in the lineup this week?
Yeah, no, it's not easy. It's tough. Specifically, if you're in the building, everybody's putting in the same amount of work. And everybody hopes, obviously, to play, whether it's a regular season game or a playoff game or what have you. So the conversation is never easy. But what you just try to let everybody understand is, we go as a team. So, if you're not playing, what can you do to help the team be successful, and take pride in that. Now, again, not always the easiest conversation, be it from me or from a player to hear. But it is the necessity of the game, and I think we all know what we signed up for. So the only thing you can control is what you control, and that's the product that you put out there during the practice field.
I do apologize if I'm putting words into your mouth, but I would assume going 1-0 the last 2 weeks was the main goal. The next goal was to make sure that your roster was ready for when the playoffs came. And you said last week that you felt the roster was trending in the right direction so that you could have everyone available for the West Final. Were you able to accomplish that goal?
Yeah, we made it out fairly clean this last week. And looking at the trajectory of everybody being able to have this, I'm stealing Taylor's, this bonus week. It's everything's trending in the right direction, which is excellent. It's what you hope for. And certainly some guys may have needed a little bit of extra rest for the thought process, to make the playoff push here. So, ultimately, again, just like I was saying before, let's see how everybody's doing, and they're out there practicing. And again, we're going to have to make decisions that puts the best team out there. So, but from what we were hoping, everything's trending in the right direction, which is awesome.
Now, Coach, it's been a big topic of conversation ever since Saturday night's game, and not to spend too much time looking in the rearview mirror, but Tevon Campbell's scoop and score that was called back. I know there are quite a few of you who were animated on the sidelines. Have you had any more chances to go back and rewatch and kind of digest what happened there?
Yeah, I mean, by the letter of the law, what happened is what they called is what had to have happened. The ref blew his whistle, and you can't advance it from that point. And they awarded us the ball, but unfortunately, the points didn't come our way. So, it's never an easy pill to swallow, but over time, you're going to get some of those, and you're not going to get some of those. But we've had 3 of those this year, so I'm hoping it's going to turn for us here. It'll be worth it if it turns.
Get
them
out of your system now.
Yeah.
So, as you attack and tackle this next preparation period before the West Final, how does that look as far as what you're doing on the field, what you're doing off the field, and maybe is it self-reflective to start before you hone in on an opponent? How does it look?
Yeah. I think as coaches, it's self-reflection first, and then, start narrowing your focus on the potential opponents. And then, from a player's standpoint, it's just, getting the proper amount of rest, but also, not letting yourself get too rusty. Guys are in here lifting weights and still watching some film, even in their off days. And then we'll get out there on the practice field, keep them moving, keep them together. Everybody spends so much time together. To be separated now wouldn't make much sense. So, these guys had a couple days off and still find themselves here. So it's good to see from a coach's perspective, and from the players' side. I mean, this is where they want to be anyway. So it's really cool from that standpoint. Just knowing the kind of players that you have in the facility that just constantly want to be around it.
Obviously, the relationships play a big role in that. From a mental standpoint, from that perspective, how are they staying mentally sharp? How are you encouraging them to stay, mentally sharp in addition to staying physically sharp?
Yeah, just being around the game, and being around each other. Because inevitably, you hang around with a bunch of your teammates. You're eventually, the topic's going to come back to football at some point. So, just staying connected to the game. And just understanding the work that's ahead of us. And I think there's quite a buzz around the building and what that looks like for us coming up here. But yeah, you can't be too far detached from it because it's full gas from here on out.
I know we don't really want to talk about guys that aren't inside the locker room right now with the Roughriders, but there are players with attachments to the organization that have done some special things recently. Up in Saskatoon, for example, Daniel Wiebe, who I think made a statement at training camp, goes ahead and sets a school record for touchdown receptions in a single season and in a career. Have you been following him? Have you watched his progression? And what have you seen if you have?
Yeah, I actually got a chance to catch the game between the Huskies and the Rams. And I texted Daniel after the game and congratulated him. And, he ended up getting making a big play at the end of that game and certainly just following and hearing, the season that he's having. And it's no shock. I mean, that's the reason why we drafted him, right? So incredibly proud of him. I know, football in Saskatchewan is awesome right now. Both of the universities are playing at a high level, going to compete for something special. And obviously what we got going on here took in some of the Thunder and the Hilltops game yesterday. Football is alive in the province right now. So, Daniel's certainly a household name when it comes to this sport in this province, and rightfully so, man. The kid works his tail off. Reap what you sow, and he's put in a lot of work.
I mean, you said it. It's football is alive and well in this province right now, and damn, that weather's been pretty good too. I'm sure having the crowd or the stands absolutely packed for that West Final makes a real difference for you and the team.
Oh man, I mean, if there's a seat empty, I'm swinging on somebody. I'm telling you, it's just, we pride ourselves as Rider Nation as being the best fan base in the country, and we believe that, man. And looking forward to everybody, showing up and supporting this team. It's been a little bit since Western Final was here. I cannot wait to see and hear the crowd. It's such an advantage for us as a team having our fan base behind us. So if you're waiting, I'm not sure why. Go and get them tickets, be a part of this thing, because we'll need you, and we look forward to it. We do it for Rider Nation. So knowing that, looking forward to them doing it for us too.
Can you explain what that feeling is like? Because you can feel the energy, but I can't describe it.
Yeah, I mean, we make a play, and it's completely electric. You could feel it running through your body. From a player's standpoint, it does. It gives you a little bit of extra juice. In crucial situations, when the opposing offense is on the field, whether you're a guy on the field or you're a guy on the sideline trying to get the crowd going, you feel like it's an added player on the field because you know that the offense has to deal with that. A lot of things based off of communication. It makes it tough on there. I mean, we should be giving out gift cards or something for every time count penalty they take or false start or something like that. It's incredible. Labor Day was outstanding. Our crowd was alive during that game, and that certainly helped us. Looking for this to be even more crazy, So here's what I will say though: the weather has been outstanding. I am praying for the coldest game possible. So dress warm and scream loud.
Speak for yourself, man.
Okay. A couple quick ones before I get to Coach Kent Majarian, whether or not he got his steak or if he's still living on fried chicken. Before I get to that, though, I did want to just the atmosphere yesterday at Mosaic Stadium, going back to that Hilltop Thunder game, was outstanding. And I thought it was pretty cool that your coaches took a moment to go down and talk to Johnny Stevens and Kenton Effa and Caleb Barajas, who's been around the program all summer long. Tell me what you saw in that game and what those three athletes mean to the Saskatchewan Roughriders.
Yeah, those, the local boys, obviously, they put in so much work, and I made a point this week to let the rest of the team know, what kind of game was coming up this weekend for those guys. And just have them understand, how much work these guys put in to help us as a team. They're out there practicing, working their tails off. Then they're going to another team's practice. Then they got games. Then they got to show up back here. It's a lot, man. And those guys, it means a lot to them. And they're getting so much better. And then with Johnny Stevens, who we call Farmer John. Farmer John he was a locker room favorite, man. The kid just happy as ever and so grateful to be around the team and is willing to do whatever to better himself and better the team. So, unfortunately, we knew that there was only going to be one team that can walk away with the win. From my standpoint, it was going to be a tough one because, I love all those guys, man. But in the end, I think, the province of Saskatchewan wins. Our football at all levels in this province is top tier. And I think you saw that in that game, and rightfully so. Two really good teams and took it all the way to the end, plus some, and wish the best to the Hilltops moving forward. But, knowing that we're going to get the Thunder guys back in the building, no ill will, man. We know how tough the game is, but those guys put it all out there.
What looks sweeter on film, a Caleb Barajas offensive lineman for the Regina Thunder touchdown or a Corey Mace touchdown reception?
Oh, Caleb's way more athletic than I was, so I'm a tip the cap to Caleb, man. Anytime you got offensive, like there's big guy touchdowns and there's offensive line big guy touchdowns. So you got to give it to them. You got to give it to Caleb.
So when it comes to touchdowns, we saw Jack Cohn in the short yardage specialist game this past weekend, and he got a couple rushing TDs. Is there any update that you're able to provide right now on Tommy Stevens?
Just said everything. He's in that group of everything's trending in the right direction. Obviously, tremendous weapon for us in those short yardage situations. But again, we'll put the best team out there. And if he's not where he needs to be, then we'll have to make a different. Have it go a different route there. But if he is good to go, which things seem to be trending the way that we want, then certainly, he'll be out there. So we'll see. But he's definitely in that group of guys where, the rest and the time off that he's had, he's been attacking his rehab, that we're hoping to get him out there.
What does that say about the guys on your roster, though? We consistently hear that. And again, Aubrey Miller Jr., the latest example of that. Guys willing to do whatever it takes to get back on the field because they care, I would assume.
Yeah, well, and that's it, right? I think we think that this year was going to be, we sensed it was going to be a special one. And if you, as a player, you want to be a part of that. And the best way to be a part of it is to be available to play. So, we're not ignorant to the fact that, injuries do happen in this sport. But how you respond to that will ultimately, dictate if you're going to be available in the future. Unfortunately, a lot of guys who did get hurt missed some time, but they're working their tails off to see if they can get back to help this team. And it really just it puts us in best favor to have those options, because when healthy, this locker room is filled with tremendous players. So you'd like to have as many options as possible.
So who you want to face in the West Final? I'm just kidding.
Whoever feels like just giving us one. If any one of those teams just feel like giving us one, we'll take that one. But I don't know if it's going to be that easy.
And I guess the way you watch this weekend change at all, no matter what's coming, or we're just watching what's in front of us and that's what we do?
Yeah. I mean, this is we can't control anything that's going to happen prior to whoever wins the game. So, we can just do our due diligence and trying to prepare for both. But we'll come together as a team, and we'll take the game in and watch it a little bit, trying to watch it a little bit as a fan, which is almost impossible to do it with a bunch of football minds. You're always going to be watching it with a different kind of lens, but we'll do that together, and we'll see where that leads us.
With Coach Kent, Majori's fried chicken, or is it steak?
Let me think here. Kent, I don't know what Kent's telling me about the fried chicken. He likes fried chicken, I can tell you that. But I think we might have some brisket, planned for that. Yeah. Okay.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. Who are you taking in the Jays? Dodgers World Series, Game 3 tonight?
No, man, I'm Canadian through and through.
Good answer.
Yeah.
Coach, appreciate this as always. I know it's a busy time for you and the staff with the amount of preparation that you're going through. I can't imagine the tape that you're sifting through right now.
Oh no, yeah, all good. It was a nice little break, but got to get back to it.
Well, enjoy the bye week. We'll see you in the West Final.
Appreciate you guys. See you there.